said,
"Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters."
And God made the expanse, and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse.
Water has the ability to reproduce the properties of any substance it once contained. Water would have the ability to retain a memory of the molecule's properties.
Be water, my friend.
Right guys, you're probably thinking, what's going on? Right, as you've seen so far, I've showed you a description of how Earth was created, and then I've gone on to show you how water has memory. If you're not sure, water is going to be the next big thing. I've been shouting this, I've been preaching this for a long time now. People have hopefully been starting to take a listen and are looking into water as being much more than what we have been told. You have Dr. Amortho's work. You have so much work on it that's showing you water is more than we actually think. As you know, my last few videos have been about Janus and Pythagoras, the Vatican and things like that. Well, I've had a long-standing theory of where we are. Do you mean we have all the different types of Earth models? Well, here's one I've had in my mind, literally, for a very long time. We are actually in God's mind. Now in this video I will then be trying to get that message out if it's possible on my theory. Like I said, I won't be the only one with this theory, but I'm just finding a few strange things that's pointing me in this direction. A clip that's coming up in a minute connects the Y and the Janus, because if you think about Janus's duality, we have two brain hemispheres, left and right, just like the Earth has a north and a south hemisphere, and I talk about that later on, or before, I don't know which way it's going to happen. So anyway, you can see me point, and you can see my previous videos have included about Mandela memory waves, about how water contains our memories, because if the ancient word for water was mem. So this is all included, and it's gearing you towards showing you how I'm getting to where I am by thinking we're in God's mind, and plausible things to show you I'm not totally crazy. So hopefully take a seat and enjoy the ride. I think, oh my God, Black Sheep's lost it. I've not. I've had this in my mind for a very long time, and now things are connecting nicely, so I thought I'll include it today. Hopefully you enjoy it so far. Here's the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF for short. Now you guys have seen my videos on the Janus, the Pythagoras Y, the forking of the paths. Well, we know the brain comes in two hemispheres. There's your duality, there's your Janus. together. Now, just check at the end now, you see a Y after the brain slice turns round. It looks like a man at first, and then it's the Baphomet horns, and it's a Y. It's a Pythagoras Y. This is just so brilliant, and it's hidden in plain sight. Hope you guys can see it. It's coming up now. So that clip right there, of when it took the brain slice, and it looked like a man, or you call it the Christos, I think some people call it, I'm not quite sure, so don't hold me on that. But when it turned round, it was a Y, the Yanis, the Pythagoras Y. That is what I needed to connect the brain to water, you know what I mean, the memory waves, exactly, we sail on it, they use Admiralty law, we are seamen. But what I'm trying to get is, with the water, what happens if the water around us, the life-giving fluid, the fluid of life, is actually brain fluid, or cerebral fluid, whatever you want to call it. So this is where I'm going with this video. Hopefully you're not like, no, he's lost it, but you can see my point. That is what I needed to see. That clip I just showed you, that connected the memory waves, the waves in essence, the light waves, different things like that, to the physical, like, brain type of thing, because I noticed the why and why it's so prevalent in society, and the Janus. So that is where I'm up to now. Hopefully you'll enjoy the rest, but I just wanted to tell you about that bit. Bye guys. So what you've got here, guys, is thunder, lightning in clouds. Does that look like the brain synapses, the neurons firing? Here's a little picture, little video of the same type of effect in the brain. Then you have a plasma ball, which is coming up now. Are these not all the same? All this seems to be going in that direction. The brain synapses, neurons firing, different things. Is this not a similar type of effect what happens in our heads? So that just got me thinking, and this is where I'm going with this video. So hopefully you can understand and see so far. I know it's way off there, but hopefully you're enjoying it. Here you've got some neurons firing. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, anyone? Come on, here's some stars. Tell me that's not the same. It looks similar to me. It's plausible, isn't it, guys? Right, guys. Let me try and blow you away. Or you can think, oh my God, the black sheep's really lost it now. Well, this is just a theory, but I'm just seeing something, and I still want to show you guys and let you make your minds up. You can either call me crazy, or you can agree, or agree to disagree. Now, what you see in front here is the North Pole and the South Pole. Or you could say Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. So what are you thinking about? Remember when I was talking about how the brain is separated into two hemispheres? Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. South Pole, North Pole. Makes sense, doesn't it? Just crazy. I mean, just look at it. And the skull is composed of two parts, cranium and facial skeleton, two parts. So you've got the Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. The brain comes in two hemispheres, left and right. Now, this is what got me interested, and I was like, whoa. I was thinking, I couldn't remember the name of this. It runs down the middle of the brain. And it's called the longitudinal fissure, or cerebral fissure, median longitudinal fissure, or interhemisphere fissure, is a deep groove that separates the two hemispheres of the vertebrate brain. Longitude, we have longitude for navigation. Median, does that not sound quite like meridian? What's the meridian? The meridian line is an imaginary line which runs from North Pole to the South Pole. It runs through the main telescope at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, South East London. The point is known as zero longitude and is the line from which other lines of longitude are measured. Now can you see why I'm going, it's getting interesting, this. North and South Hemisphere. The skull breaks up into two. I know it breaks down into more, but you know, I'm just showing a point. The brain, left and right hemisphere. Oh, what's the line down the middle? There you go. The longitudinal fissure. The median one. Sounds quite like the meridian line. Or could it be the equator? If you talk about the equator now, you click on that picture, you've only got to turn that round, left and right hemispheres. And that's what I'm going to get up to in a minute. Oh, what is it now? As you can see, I've been working along here. So this got me thinking then on the Milky Way. Can you imagine the Milky Way there? It looks like a break. They call it the Great Rift. Could it not be a cranial suture? And look at the main one there, the anterior fontanelle. The North Star. Could that not be the North Star? Polaris. This is a suture. A crack in God's skull. I'm just throwing this theory out there, guys. I know it's wild and it's different. But you've got the cosmic egg theory and other theories. Why not this? I'm just showing plausible theories for this. I'm not saying it's definite, you know what I mean? I'm not, oh, it's this, but I'm just, things are just calling out to me. It's weird lately, and I want to share it with you. So you can see the human skull, the temporal bone is orange, and the temple overlies the temporal bone as well as overlapping the sphenoid bone. The temple is a junction where the four skull bones fuse together. Could this be the North and South Pole? The temples of our Creator. You're talking in between. These are held together by four. Did you say four? Yep. As you can see, guys, fused together, the frontal, parietal, temporal and sphenoid ears are the locate the side of the head. So these are the four, the four bones. Four cardinal directions. Just throwing it out, guys. Come on, you must see where the full skull bones fused together. Could this not be the four cardinal directions? Are we not in God's head? It's just a theory. I've just showed you how synapses and neurons look like the stars. Now, what I'm going to show you after this is, and it's about concussion. You know what a concussion is, and that's what I'm going to get to on the next bit, showing you a little clip and pictures for that. So hopefully, guys, you can see where I'm coming from. Hopefully you're not going, oh no, Black Sheep's really lost it. I'm just running ideas, guys. Do you know what I mean? I trust you guys now to show different weird theories that I'm thinking of, and you know what I mean? It's what we do. We share together for the good and for the bad, and I just want to show this, guys. It's just been playing on my mind for a long time now, and a few of the things are connected, like when I've just showed you the slice of the brain, it looked like the why that I've just been working on. So this all connected, so I thought, no, I'll get this all together. It's too big not to show you guys, and hopefully you're loving it. All right, thanks guys, I'll carry on now.
A concussion is a type of mild traumatic brain injury that can happen when your head receives a hard blow.
Here's that concussion picture again. There's the Pythagoras Y. You got Jesus on the cross, and you have the Holy Grail. Two hemispheres, two brain hemispheres, two people, all a match.
Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters.
And God made the expanse, and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse.
Fluid surrounds your brain.
So above we have a selection of temples where people go to praise their gods, whether it be Buddhist, Hindu, Catholic, Protestant, whatever is your preference. You are praising God in the temple. We have the temples side of our heads. Remember this image from the beginning of the CSF, I believe it is, the brain and the spine? Does this not remind you of the sperm, of us, the semen? It reminds it so much to me. Right guys, I found a great site. Well, it looks great so far. So I've got to take my hat off to the guys who are on www.hiddenmeanings.com. This is where I'm getting some of the info from now for this next bit, because I've been reading it. And it's basically talking the similar stuff to what I'm talking about. So like I said before, I ain't the first one to think like this, and I won't be the last. So obviously this just says translate the body into any language, brain, body and universe. The kingdom of God, I guess if I was to consider one statement of Jesus Christ, this is the most meaningful to me and forms the foundation of our work here as Hidden Meanings. It would be this. So this is what they're saying. The foundation statement of Jesus, Luke 17:21, the kingdom of God is within you. So, and I look at it in a different way. Is that they say the kingdom of God is within you. How about if the kingdom of God is we're in him? And that's like, well, we're talking about the same things but the opposite way around, as we're in his mind, you know what I mean? We're in the kingdom of God. So these guys say this doesn't mean then that the kingdom of God is a matter of kidneys or livers and teeth. It means the kingdom of God is a matter of consciousness, which, you know, I'm big on consciousness, and not on the side of basis of some kind of religious or spiritual perspective, but physically for real. The human brain and the universe. Some time ago I shared with you a strange but beautiful comparison between the human brain and the universe. The picture of the human cerebral cortex comes from the book The 3-Pound Universe by Judith Hopper and Dick Teresi, published by Tatcha Purnam. The book is found on blah blah blah. The part of the brain that carries the electrical circuits, the part of the brain showing the circuits that carry the electrical signals, so you can think what you think and what you do. So I've briefly showed you that before, but you can see the image. Below is a picture that the fake NASA and all them showed you, a picture of dark matter, the universe. You can see it's just basically the same, guys. It's just crazy. This shows the human brain to be a miniature universe. And that's why I'm thinking, are we in God's head, our thoughts? Because it's like the word abracadabra, I speak, I create. But to speak, you have to think. Words need a thought. So as soon as he thought and spoke, we were created. So this is where I'm coming with this, guys. And you can see, indeed, the kingdom of God is truly within us. We are a part of him. We are God. We're made in his image, his thought. So we carried the piece of soul that we was created, thought. It's like the saying that I'll include, I think, so I am. So that is where I'm going with this guide. Indeed, the kingdom of God is truly within us. So you can see the universe 2 million years ago, the fake Big Bang. It's just crazy. And there's the image of from the European Southern Observatory, the universe 2 billion years after the Big Bang. And you can tell it's just the brains, the two hemispheres. Just such inciting. But these guys put this together as well. It's brilliant. See, their line goes all the way through all the earth. As I look at those lines which make up the circuits in the cosmos and the circuits of the brain carrying information and messages of the great light, I think the scripture in Psalm 19:4, their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them has he set a tabernacle for the sun. Truly the kingdom of God is within us. I am not the only one proposing a connection between the structure of the universe and the structure of the human brain. I want to look at text that goes with the universe. Picture we shown just above, and it talks about the spider's web. It's just crazy. And like I said, I'll include this website in the comments when I make it, so you can see God's brain, our brain, the universe brain, all the same. Are we being made in the image of the likeness of the supreme photon being? And then we see the pathways of light in the forms of cosmic neurons inside the brain of God when you look up at the sky. Now that's what I'm really talking about. what we discussing is looking up into the sky and actually looking at the inside of the brain of God. In other words, we are thought patterns in God's brain. Now let us follow this because its implications as the brain of God together within the brain of us. Now this is why I'm so excited and just blown away. I've had this theory since I was a little child and I've never been able to get out into words. And to be honest, I posted on social media a few months back saying we're inside God's brain. Didn't think to carry on it as much, and this research that I've just done on Janus and the Pythagoras Y and seeing that image just sparked it off and rekindled the passion he had inside. And this is why I'm getting it out to show you guys. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's just brilliant. And like I said, I'm just skimming through this because obviously I don't want to set these people's work, but you can, they're talking about the same thing. See, the part of the brain that separates the outer, called dura mater, from the inner, called pia mater, is called arachnoid, which is a spider's web. So, and what is the the Indian Hopi Hindi, with the prediction about you have to look up to the spider's web in the sky. Well, the spider's web, guys, is this the arachnoid, the dura mater, the skull. You can just see we have seen and compared the neurons of the universe. So this is just mind blowing for me, and probably will make more. But I'm really taken aback about this, where I'm just seeing evidence for this, and I'm mind blown. Science finds the spider's web in the universe, the spider's web in the human brain, hard mother. The outermost layer of the human brain is called dura mater, hard mother. Tender mother. The innermost layer of the human brain is called pia mater, tender mother. Arachnoid, the spider's web. Between the outer dura mater and the inner pia mater lies a reticulated layer of tissue, the arachnoid, whose appearance reminded another now anonymous anatomist of a spider's web. So you can see, and can I get it up quick enough for you guys? For some reason, every time I press a certain button, it stops my video recording. But as you can see, the Native American prophet is the spider's web. Do you know what I mean? And it relates to end times here. You know what I mean? So obviously, I don't believe in the end times, but it is intriguing, isn't it? They talk about the seven, the different signs. We have come across a lot of these. This is the fifth sign. The land shall be crisscrossed by a giant spider's web. Now, a lot of people think, and sometimes I do, to be honest, I'll be honest, is the chemtrailing, because it looks like spider's webs, and I've had a lot of that. Do you know what I mean, over here? But what if they're actually talking about what we're talking about here now, about the spider's web in the cosmos and in the brain? When we see this, is that a sign? See? So now science sees the cosmos like a spider's web, and we see the arachnoid lies between the coverings of the brain, appearing as a spider's web. So let us go to the dictionary and see the definition of arachnoid, which is part of the brain. So arachnoid, delicate membrane enclosing the spinal cord and brain, softer tangled hairs of fibres resembling those of cobweb or spider's web, between the pia mater and the dura mater, from Greek arachnoidis, arach in spider. Spider web up there, spider web in you. So science has shown us that there is little doubt that the universe is a cosmic brain which aligns with the human brain. Both are like spider's web, so you see that it's the same to same, like to you. Brain to brain, your brain to the big brain. So you can see, it's just, I'm just mind blown. Just mind blown. The brain universe, the human brain is a galaxy. You can see, notice how the writer describes the human brain as a galaxy. Electrochemical pulse is described as flashing neural cells, the same galaxy activity that fascinates us so going on in our heads. Now let's look at it a little further. Neurons, again we talk about neurons as we did in the beginning of this message. Neurons are specialized cells that are made to receive certain specific connections and pass their decisions to other neurons. These specializations include a cell membrane, which is specialized to convey nerve signals as electrochemical pulses. Well, we say the universe is electromagnetic. I'm just blown away. I mean, even that with tree of life and different things, and you got the Jacob's ladder and the Christos, the 33 vertebrae, and I'll include a picture of that. Remember, you've seen a lot on Sansos Spinacci covers this a lot. Well, this makes more sense now when you think about it as we're inside God's brain. So a part of the brain that gets and delivers the electrical signal is the Dendrites, which means tree, the tree of life. The tree of knowledge and the good and evil is in the brain. Part of the brain that provides this information is called dendrite or tree. Oh my, I didn't even know that. Oh my God. Gee whiz. Now maybe we can understand the Old Testament admonition not to partake of the tree of knowledge or good and evil. How do you avoid taking fruit from the tree of knowledge or good and evil? You shut down the thoughts of the mind and you obey Jesus and take no thoughts. You meditate. So I'm just going to stop now, eh? Dendrites. Now let's look at the definition on that word. Dendri or dendri tree like dendronology, from the Greek dendron, tree, see deru, below. Important derivatives are tree, truth, true, truth, trust, tray, and so on. Oh God. What's this one now? Pine tree, pine cone, pineal. And then we find the word connected to pine tree, which takes us to the pineal gland of the brain, which means pine cone. Wow, I knew that obviously, but I'm just blown away, guys. And we see the word connected to diurnal matter, which is the outer part of the brain. See? All these links to myths and different things, and it's in God's head. Pegasus in the human brain is hippocampus of the brain. How about Pegasus, the white horse constellation? So you can see the brain memory organ is hippocampus. The word means seahorse. The hippocampus of the brain is the place of the memory. The word hippocampus means seahorse. Obviously I can't take this word for word because I've not researched this, but I still found it interesting to show you guys. The hippocampus of the brain is a white seahorse connected to memory, and Jesus returns on that white horse. He returns to you as you return to him, and you reconnect to your remembrance of the parallel world. Remember duality again, Janus. The Y in the head. So the white seahorse is the sky Pegasus, and white eminence called the hippocampus, and are both connected to the memory. Oh God. Oh my God. Right. And you can see the eye in the head, the eye in the sky. In the head, where you single eye, where it can be ignited, situated between the two physical eyes, and we know that's the third eye. Right, guys, I'm going to stop here on this bit because I'm just going to be like my mouth's dropping, and I'm just going whoa. Because the supernova in the sky is the pineal gland in the brain. In your head, it's the pineal gland of the brain. Supernova 1987. The universe is a brain that aligns with the physical brain. Little people inside of you, the universe, the brain of God. I believe we are presented here significant evidence that the human brain is a duplicate of the universe. In other words, significant evidence indicated that when we look up into the sky, we're actually looking up into a brain, the brain of God. And I'll leave that there. Just think of these films, Inside Out, the Disney one, where your emotions inside, or the famous one I watched as a kid of Inner Space. That's when I got this theory for this. Are we living inside something? And then you have the other film, is it Chris Rock, called Osmosis Jones? These are the films that give me the ideas, and obviously I'm not alone on this, so thank God I'm not crazy. Hope you're liking this so far, guys, because I'm just absolutely loving it. Right, guys, so what about this? As you can see, giant pre-flood trees before the flood. After the flood, they were chopped down or destroyed. Could they not be, as you can see above, neurons and synapses? And these were our connections that were cut down to God. These were the actual neurons and synapses, and it was connected to God's brain, and we destroyed this. It's just crazy that I'm seeing this. Hopefully you guys can see the similar what I'm trying to get out in this. Now, a similar image to what you see above is what I saw when I was growing up. This is the image that put me on this path, and it took so long to get back to. As you can see above, what do you see? I see so-called globe world, I see concave world, I see flat earth world. It's all perspective, and remember, our consciousness is powerful enough to create whatever we think, we speak, we create. And it's, if you believe in the simulation theory, anything under these theories where the power of your mind is able to create. Yes, we have these guys indoctrinating us, casting spells on us, so we only see what we want to see. But when I look at this, I see a world hidden in God's mind. And I know this is way out there theory, but from what I've showed you, it's enough to think, yeah, it could well be. I'm not saying it's for definite, because there's nothing I can't guarantee 100% this and this, but I'm honest enough to say that. And I'm not like in the thing, oh, it's got to be this or any others. No, this is just great stuff to learn and pass on and share your thoughts, your feelings, your musings, your what your heart desires and things like that with your friends. I have the platform, and what you can see above is just so interesting to me. And on that is our universe, as I've just showed you in that recording. It's just so brilliant, guys. It's so oh my God, like I can't hold my excitement. You can see the synapses and how there could be trees and different things. The waters around, above so below, as above so below. It's brain fluid. Just brilliant. Abracadabra, I will create as I speak. Brings more insight, doesn't it now? And now cogito ergo sum. I am, I think, so I am. How about this, guys? Brings more clarity to it now, and it just blows me away. I was done. After that, I was going to do my thoughts until I saw this. You see this image here now, guys? This is the human brain and universe from that site we were just talking about. Can you see? This is the brain. Now, what does that image remind you of? Now, I'll leave it for a second. I'll give you 10 seconds, and then I'll show you what I think I see in this image here. You're all scrambling around now. What's he thinking? Right, guys, you ready? So this image here, this is what I see. An angel on top of a Christmas tree. You see? The angel wings, like the dress, on the head. Very similar to me, that, guys. Oh my God. Crazy. Now, what I'm finishing off with now is not that one. Here we go. Do you know from the film The Matrix and different things, it's all about truth and different things. We've all seen the memes. Are you going to take the red pill or the blue pill? Now, the significance in this is, if you notice through society, there's always red and blue, similar to the Democrats and the other parties, Labour and Conservative in the UK and different things. It's mainly the main colours, Sparta, Athens. You've seen it through history. Now, I just came across this before I was finishing. 5 crazy ways that the colours red and blue control your life. You can see they give you an unfair, they say, advantage, but it influences you, and this is what my point I'm getting at. It manifests, it does something to you, to people, manipulate your intelligence. It's saying it lowers your IQ test before, if you look at red shortly before, it's obviously red is anger and different things and pacifying different things. We know this, but just contributing to, I'm linking different things together. Blue makes you stronger. It's crazy, guys. Heal you. It just crazy. Right, I'm done now, and I'll be talking about my thoughts. It's coming up, but I just wanted to show you that thing then about the angel, looking like the angel on the Christmas tree. Too much to pass. Right, guys, I'm going to finish off a little bit more before I go into my thoughts. I just wanted to show you. Obviously, I've been researching on this. And what's found interesting, this is another like tie-in between my research on Janus, the Pythagoras Y, and obviously we've seen today in my video about the Y in the head. And you can see, I'll just bring this up to show you the Y and how it looks like a chalice and looks like Jesus on the cross. What it is it's a thing called Yod, or I think you pronounce it Yod. Yod is the astrological formation of two astral bodies, or calculated points sextile to each other, and a third quincunx pronunciation, in conjunction to them both, because the third placement is around the opposite, the midpoint. Now, how this talks about the two things either side, and how it's a Yod, and we have a Y in our head. And the letter Yod is the 10th letter of the alphabet, having the numeric value of 10. The pictograph for Yod looks like a arm or hand, whereas the classical Hebrew script is constructed of a single tag upwards, a quartz downwards, and a middle portion. Yod is the most frequently occurring letter in scripture, as well as the smallest of the letters. So it's prevalent a lot. It's Y. I've linked it to in the brain, and could it be something to do with God and different things like this. As you can see, Yod is the where is it now? Having a Yod in your chart means you have chosen for some special purpose. The fundamental force of Yod is one of 5 major aspects called the quincunx, which is pronunciation. So if you're in astrology, I apologise. I have problems with long words with being dyslexic, so I always muggle through. A Yod, also known as the finger of God or the finger of fate, is a rare astrological aspect that involves any 3 planets. People believe that astrology is no good. Well, that's wrong, because that is just your day-to-day cheap magazine type of astrology. The proper stuff has a lot to do with frequency, vibrations, and energy when you were born under your house. I don't know hardly anything about astrology, but I know it is very accurate. And this is to do with the house and times and everything you were born in. So I need to look into that in more detail. But do you know what I mean? It's fascinating how this is connecting a lot of my recent research into do with God's mind and finger of fate and the hand of God. Is this in the hand of God in our heads? The Y. Just a thought, right, guys? Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm going to be talking now in a second when this ends, and do my roundup and my thoughts. Welcome to the Black Sheep Researcher, where we search for the truth outcast style. Oh my god. Do you know what? Will that ever get boring? Do you know what I mean? Ever since the one person said they didn't like it, but a lot of people like it, so I keep on doing it. Right, today, contemplation phase. So as you can see, the description of the video is, obviously you know what it is by now, but this is just my thoughts. It's titled, I probably forgot by now, it's titled The Water, the Fluid of Life. So I think I've just put the fluid of life. And as you can see from the various voice clips and video clips in the video, it's about where we are, our consciousness, us as souls, entities, whatever you want to describe us. This theory, or just an idea, like I said, it's not original, because there's a lot of people out there, surprisingly more than I thought, to be honest. But the idea of where we are now, you have different Earth type of models. You have the flat Earth model, you have the globe Earth model, you have the Pac-Man model, you have concave, and I bet there's a few others that I've not seen. And this one I'm talking about, I don't know if it's called micronism. I don't know. There is a word for it. I just have forgot. I've got that much notes, and my head's just gone battered with the stuff I'm learning today. Some of the stuff for the first time. But like I said, anything I learn or put ideas together for a video, I'm going to share with you guys. Because just, why not? So, as you can see by the video, I put together a few of my theories. Oh, I can't get comfortable lately. I put a few more of my theories that I've done so far. I've done a video called The Mandela Wave, where it talks about how our memories are stored in the fluid, the water around us, and I did that a few months ago. So if you've not checked that out, please look out for memory waves. And I think I did two. One's called Memory Waves, which was the number 2 to it, and the Memory Bubble was the first one. And that's basically talking about how when we think we act like a Wi-Fi, and we upload our thoughts after and store them around us. Because if you think about it, when we get an idea and we can't think of it, we go, oh my god, I've lost the idea, it's floated away, and then we get it back, and it's a case of, oh god, that memory comes sailing back or flowing back, you know what I mean? So it's all these references to water. You had the references in the ancient times. Water was known as mem. Phoenician, Hebrew, the hieroglyphs in Egypt were the wavy lines, and I showed you a little bit at the beginning how that looks like actual thought patterns, thought waves. And that was what I connected into my original films. So if you want to catch them, please check them out. They're on my channel somewhere, Memory Waves and Memory Bubbles, something like that. If you can't find them, just please comment on this video and I'll put the links straight into it with the captions. It's an interesting idea. Basically, I was talking about how our memories are passed down, not just by of the oral tradition, you know, people telling you what your ancestors were like, but in memories, in our DNA, but also around us. When these ancients were alive, our ancestors, their thoughts were kept in the case of the Akashi, one of them in the Akashi records around us. People call it the Akashi records. I just call it the greater consciousness. So then we, having similar DNA and similar pineal gland crystal antenna that's inside, are able to download these memories, sometimes but not knowing they're not ours. So it's a case of when you think you know something and you've not actually done it, or you pick up a trait that your ancestors did. It's a similar idea to that, and it's also in our, obviously in our blood, in our DNA. And I theorise how people with mental illnesses are actually able to decipher and listen into our ancestors' voices. So that is just some of the things I will talk about in that video, and that's why it progressed and is included in this video near the beginning. Then, as you know, if you don't know, where have you been? My last 2 videos have been on Pythagoras, the Pythagoras why theory, you know, philosophy. You know, you've seen the why on how that is so prevalent in society, and how I link that into Janus and the Vatican. So you can see all that. So now you've slightly caught up to speed. So what happened is, what was I doing? I was just looking at something today, really, but not, it was the other day. But in video land, it was today, and it was the cerebrospinal fluid clip, and I included that. And as you can see in that, it panned around, and first of all, it looked like a man, which was so freaky. I think that's the first time I've actually seen that. Then when it panned round and turned, it was the Y that I've been doing, and I thought, no way. And that's something that just sparked a huge interest into me. To look into more about the brain and different things, because I've posted on social media numerous times, months, years ago, on how I believe, it's just a theory, you know what I mean, it's just a personal belief on, could we be living in God's thoughts, in God's mind? Because like the spell abracadabra, Aramaic. It means I create as I speak. And I like I talked. I'm changing my accent. As I create as I speak, you have to have a thought, don't you? So obviously he spoke, created this, like the frequency that can change things, you know what I mean, with cymatics and things like that. But that also got to me, he's got to think, so could we be in his head? Do you know what I mean? And he created, it was our voice and speaking it, he created inside him, and we was inside God's head. And like I said, you've seen all the video clips that are included off that site, and I'll include that site in the comments as well. I'm just blown away, literally. Strangely enough, I'm talking about the mind, and my mind's blown away. Just all these weird, I mean, I know the connections, and obviously you can make connections in anything really to suit your thing, but you can say that about anything, do you know what I mean? And I know people were thinking, oh, well, no, it's this and it's this. We are vibrations and frequencies. That is what we are. That is one of the main laws. We are a vibration, a frequency. So anything is possible. You've seen it how in, like I just mentioned, abracadabra, I create as I speak. It's a spell. Now, it's like the placebo effect. You create a spell. You believe whatever you are taking will make you better. Your mind is that powerful. So the placebo effect works on the understanding. Your mind is filled thinking it's a cure, so you cure yourself. Because that just shows you how powerful we are, how powerful the mind is. So if we're living in a mind and God created thoughts and we came into existence and we're all separate entities living inside, I'm just blown away. And like I said, I spoke to a few people on this and they've been blown away. And that encourages me. Like I said, we all like to be individuals, but we also like to be accepted on, you know, when you start doing something new, you don't want to think like you're going crazy and it's really that bad. So you like to get the acceptance of your peers or your friends. And like I said, I'm no different. Obviously, I'm not too fussed if people don't like it. I mean, but you know what I mean? We're human. You know, what's the point making videos or coming up with an idea and everyone slates it, but it's disheartening. But it's like I said, it's perspective as well. Everyone's perspective is different. I could hold up 5 things in my hand, show them to someone, and they would give a different perspective on it. Because that's how we see life, and that's why all this intertwines in with this. It's like that saying in Latin, is it cogito ergo sum or sum? I think, therefore I am. So anything that thinks can think for themselves. Does that class it as real? So you get into like sketchy land, case of AI territory and different things like that. If they're able to think to themselves, does that mean they're real, or do you class it as the soul? I mean, what, you know what I mean? So we are getting to tricky waters on there. But like I said, even the things of, a lot of you know, if truth is, obviously some know more than others. I don't really know that much on it because I've not researched it. But you can see if people from Santos Bonacci and other people who talk about how we are getting ruled under Admiralty law, meaning it's the law of the sea. Do you know what I mean? So while we're at sea, we are seamen. Now, if you've seen the beginning of that clip, the CSF, CSF, that's right, yeah, it just looks like a sperm. You know, the brain, obviously the head, and the brain, and the spinal cord just looks like sperm. It just, you know what I mean? I was in, like I said, I've said a few times, I used to be into sci-fi and Stargirl and Stargate, is it? Yeah, Stargate. Paul, you should know what you're talking about. Stargate, and they had the gold, and they were like a symbiotic, and it was just like a worm, and it took over and it fused. So that could be similar like that, the sperm. And it grows, because it's just the same, and that freaked me out in a sense. And not like freaked, scared it, but just freaked me out. Oh God, that does look the same. So then you get talking about things of, and I've not looked into this, so I apologise anyone who this is a speciality. Is it the archons or archons, and how they're parasitic worms and things like that? And it's just, are these guys parasites, because obviously anything living will get parasites, and then is this what they are? Parasitic entities coming into the mind of God. So that is just something to think about. What else was there? So on that clip in the beginning, I don't know if I mentioned this now, losing my train of thought. Yeah, it blew me away, because when it panned round, it shows you the Y. But also, before it did, you know, when it turned round, it had the Y, but above it, it looked like it was about that symbol. It was like that, wasn't it? Well, if you remember from my last video, let me get my pad, because my board's full. God, I've got about 50 pens, and as soon as I'm making something, all my pens disappear. Got one behind my computer. See, this wasn't planned, spontaneous. So you had the symbol that I'm talking about in my last video. It was an early Christian symbol. Obviously, it's not just a Christian symbol, but it was also used by them. And I don't know if you can see it on your screen because of the light. There you go. So it's the I, Y, and I. So obviously, on the clip I'm on about, it was the Y. It was in the brain, and it was similar. Oh, I'm not showing you that. That's piss poor drawing, Paul. I'm not an artist, so. So the symbol was in the head, something like that. Can you see at the beginning it was in the cerebral, so it was a Y, and it had little two things on the top. That just reminded me of the I, YI, an early symbol of the cross. And as you can see from my video I included pictures of Jesus on a cross. It looks like a Y, doesn't it? Breaking things. And then it looks like the chalice, the Holy Grail. So all these things just blew me away. And I did know about them. Obviously, you do your research, but not when you're tying them into theories of your own and your thoughts and your ideas. Even though this is not an original theory, because a lot of people have been having it. But I've had this since I was a little boy when I watched. I'm not telling you how old I was. It's a secret. When, you know, the film Inner Space, when they get shrunk, a bit like Honey like to Shrunk the Kids, but they get shrunk into a microbe and they get injected into, I can't remember, was it I know Dennis Quaid, was it Dennis Quaid who was in it? And he gets injected in, and obviously they go in, and that's where I always got the feeling of could we be in God? Yeah, it's the thought that you have when you're a little child, isn't it? I've always been like that. And then later in life, you had films like Osmosis Jones. And if you're not sure what that is, that's a film about how germs and bacteria and different things were alive. It's an animated film. It is quite good. I think Chris Rock plays Osmosis Jones, if I can remember. And then later in life, I've not seen this, but there's, oh God, what's it called now? Inside, it's one of them Disney ones where the emotions are actually living and they're controlling the people. So all these films slightly touch on this topic that we could be inside. And I think there's other ones, aren't there? I don't know if Eddie Murphy was in one because it's called God or something like that. Anyway, that's what the Inner Space got me thinking of this when I was young. And I've always had it in my head, and I've always touched on it every now and again on social media, not knowing, because I didn't know anything about Yanis or the Y then, until the other day I spotted that slice of brain with a Y in, and I was taken back. I was like, defo steam, but I'm not going to put this in this clip because I'm too lazy now. I've been doing this for this video, loads and loads of research, and you just like, come on, get it out of the way. So yeah, steaming, smoke, the only time I shut up. Mind blown. So I don't know, don't you just love researching? How can you stay transfixed on one topic? I just don't know. Wouldn't you get bored? I have a go-to topic, and we all have go-to topics, our favourites. Do you know what I mean? But oh my God, if I'd have stayed on one topic, I'd have never come up with this, and never have seen. 'Yanis, I wouldn't have done me. I wouldn't have done. 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 I would spelling, his indoctrination videos, all these videos. If I'd have just had one niche and stayed to that, I love the Tartaria topic, but I'm just doing so many different topics because I just bounce from one to one because they all interest me. Some videos don't interest me because, like I said many times, I've done videos because people wanted my opinion on that for some reason, and I've done it. But then I found something interesting, and everything is connected, even in the places you do not think it is. So back to this, Paul. Yeah, so then looking into the brain, and I noticed, I couldn't remember, the long line, it went down the middle of the two brains. Well, God, I've just lost my train of thought again. The fissure. But that got me thinking of Janus and different things, because the brain comes into left and right hemisphere. Pardon me. Oh my God. And how Earth is separated by northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So as soon as I sat in the comparisons, isn't it interesting that we have a northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, and the brain is split into two. Not obviously north and south, but it's called the left and right hemisphere. Strangely coincidental. And I had that from when I did the video on the spheres. But obviously I didn't make the jump to where I am now. So we had that, the two hemispheres, north and south, left and right in the brain. Then you had the, is that word now? Longitudinal, the fissure. All the way down the middle, we have an equator on Earth separating north and south. Or, because like I said, it's not a theory of one. It's this is law and this is law. I just bounce around and throw ideas, and people that's better than me, smarter than me, can put more better links to this. That's why I love making these videos, getting the comments, and then that helps me for part 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. So you had then, it's called the longitudinal fissure, or the median. The median. Now that sounds so much like meridian. You're only talking if a word put in an R and an I. Do you know what I mean? And that's the fictional so-called line from South and the North Pole, the North and South Pole. It goes up inside. Inside the so-called globe. So that's what blew me away. And we have longitude, we have latitude. All navigation is done like that, and we have places named in our brain after the same thing. And this is when you get to a thing where how much is a coincidence and how much is named for a reason. And that's why I had to do this video, even though some people might not like it. We can't please everyone, unfortunately. Someone will always find a fault or hate a video. But like I said, I make my videos for myself as a personal diary, but also for my friends, and also I try and make a video for everyone. You know what I mean? Some people might not like a lot of what I've done, and hopefully that you've kept true to me and keep subscribed. Some people don't. He's making this now and I'm unsubscribing him. I don't like to, what's the word, to categorise myself as this or this or this. I just research and anything, and then give what I found and make it into a video. So, some of these things I might, I'm definitely not thinking this or anything like that. It's not the case. I just find it interesting, and then when I find interesting things, I like to share it with you. So you shouldn't be bothered if I like this or like that. Do you know what I mean? We get ideas and brainstorm, and this is how we learn. And I want to maybe have not come to this if I was not talking to friends and they mentioned and something triggered me to look and I found it. So why not just look into anything that you can? It's all knowledge. You know what I mean? It keeps you active. Sometimes too much. When I'm up to. Oh yeah, so that got me when I started looking at the brain more. Obviously, the longitude, latitude, and all them different things. And obviously, I'm not going to be spot on. You guys will spot loads of faults with this, but this is the best bit. This is my first effort into this type of topic, and I'm going to learn so much after this. from getting the comments, and then the next one might be better and better, and we learn better from our mistakes. Do you know what I mean? I always make mistakes, and I'm proud to say I do. Do you know what I mean? What is it now? Alright, so I've done the long. Oh, so that got me thinking then on the Milky Way. We see the Milky Way in the sky. Well, I don't think have I seen it from where we live, but a lot of people have, and we've seen it, and it's also called the Great Rift, because some people believe it got cracked and we got flooded, and that was a great flood. But picture this now. Could it, his head, his brain got, his skull got cracked, leaking brain fluid? The Great Flood. Does it not look like a crack, a future? What was it now? A suture. There was only one word, a few words off, so it's a suture. So that is why from the beginning I included, the God type of voice. And God created from Genesis, and he split the waters from the waters above, and he created, separated the expanse by water. So if you think about it now, it's talking how there's an expanse now in the middle, so it's clear in the middle, and water is surrounding us. And I've included pictures of the brain and the brain fluid all the way around us. So, that just me, this. That's why I included that, because as soon as I remembered that portion of it, I just thought, oh God, is he talking about how when he spoke and he created us, did he create another God to house us? You know what I mean? Anything is a go now if you want to run ideas past me, do you know what I mean? So that could be another thing. Or Jesus, or, whatever your faith is. So what was he up to? Why? I've done the Milky Way and the Rift, that could be sutures. I noticed one of the sutures on top of the head was structured in a star. Would that mean we would have a neuron or a synapses firing underneath, and it was Polaris? Just an idea. And I know people think, oh, well, in my model, we spin, or the Earth is flat. You have to get this. Your mind is powerful. I've just showed you an example of the placebo effect, how you think you create. I've also abracadabra. So if you believe in something so much, you can create realities. So you are creating a reality you believe. It could be your heaven, it could be whatever you want. You are creating a reality, and that is why some people see one model, and doesn't matter how much proof or evidence you show them, it doesn't compute, because they cannot see it. They're under a different type of spell. You can call it indoctrination or what. That is their belief. So that is why I don't call anyone for the different beliefs, because that's their belief. They might not be indoctrinated, but that's just their belief. So you create what you speak or you think. I think, therefore I am. So that your mind is that powerful. It's creating different realities for people. So in essence, in theory, they think it's a globe model. So there is a globe model in their eyes. You create it, and you could be flat Earth. You could create it, and it could be concave. Have you ever thought how all of us have all these different beliefs, and we have so much strong opinion on it, and we believe, and it is real? And people say, well, science and proves this. Listen, I believe in so many different things, and I'm not knocking any of them. Do you know what I mean? I'm not the type of person like that. You can believe in what you want. You know what I mean? As long as you're nice to me, you respect me. People just seem to get aggressive because it's like an indoctrination. I've talked about many times about punctuation, different things, and spelling. You're under a spell. Now, is it of your own creating, or is it of the archons, whatever you call them, or the elites? Do you know what I mean? To believe in the aspect of the globe model, to take you away from thinking, is it any other model, or you in Christ, we are part of God. Do you know what I mean? I always believed that God is within us, but what happens if God is within us, but we are within him? Just ideas, guys, and hopefully you can understand when I come through and why I had to make it. It's like one of those itches when you just cannot stop itching. I've had it for so long, and then to get it all created and matching and making sense to me, I just had to make it. A few of my friends have copped it, meaning they've got the barrels of what, and spewed all the information out into I just had to. So thank you for them. Also, if you think about it now, what you go to church or you go to a temple, depending on what faith it is, but church, temples, they're all the same. They're a temple. You go there to pray to God, but you're in a temple. You have temples. You then got the why inside. Jesus on the cross, the chalice, whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call the sign of the cross. Remember the I, it's inside. So God is within us. And you've seen many things talking about the Christos oil and different things like that. Slightly off topic, could this Christos oil be in us what it is in God? And it's the oil. Because if you think about it, how much wars have we gone to oil? And I know a lot of people say, well, it's not fossil fuel and different things. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, could that be the Christos oil, but we're inside and that is what we're using? Just an idea. And then it's funny enough that my friend said, well, there's cooking oil or vegetable oil called Christos. Just funny, weird connections like that. So you have temples and you pray in temples. Yeah, you have 2 temples on your head. There's a duality again. Now, we know the elites, the evil parasites, all like to warp and change whatever is in us or symbology to their effect. So if you do a hand signal, you're automatically a Mason, or you do, but you're not. I've always keep saying this. They're using a symbol for negativity. Let's use it for a positivity. Because positivity and negativity are forces. So if you're one of those people that always find the negative, you need to feed off the negative. You know, they feed off the negativity in adrenochrome and different things like that. They feed it. They need it. They created this world, and I don't mean created and made. In society, they created the society so they could feed off the fear, feed off the negativity, because they want to stay young. Because in the end, it's like that placebo effect. But if they believe they're getting young, they stay young. And then you have to like simulation theories and different things. I've not really looked into that, but to a great deal to make a video on it. I'm not saying we're in a simulation or we're in a matrix type of thing. In a way, it could be seen as that if we're inside God's mind, but He made us to be individual. Do you know what I mean? I know we have like that yod, the finger of fate, and the hand of God. He helps us every now and again to steer you in a direction. But, He gives us free will. And I know people have different perspectives on that. And I'm not going into different things like that because this video is just to get this thing started and balling and rolling. So, yeah. Oh, where was it to? So you have the temples. And then it was talking about how these temples, the 4 bones fusing together to make the temples. And we have all the 4 cardinal directions. You have the 4 seasons. You have the celestial sphinx. I've done a video on that. Was all creation came from them 4 star constellations. It just blows me away. And we know for a fact, that is one bit we can call fact, how a lot of things like the Jacob's ladder is the 33 vertebrae and different things like the steps. You can see all that. So you can see they use your anatomy for symbols to do with God and the apostles and different things. You've seen so many people better than me making videos on them topics. So that shows you something's got to be in this. So then you saw me doing a clip on lightning and thunder and clouds and how they look like the synapses and the neurons firing. And then there was one particular one I did, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I'm not going to sing, but do you know what I mean? It looks so simple, similar. So like that website I included in my video screen recording, how we're in God's thought and we're looking up and we're seeing his neurons, synapses firing and different things. We're inside. So that just added more to my theory. No, it's not my theory, but I've called it something, don't I? And then I was thinking, well, people will ask, oh, what's the sun and the moon and different things like that. Well, that's your perspective. People see, when you look at the sun, people have a perspective and it changes different shapes, and you have the sun simulator and different things like that. Like I said, this is ongoing now, so I will start looking into what could the sun and moon be if it is in the head. Some people might already know that. feel way more. And obviously, hopefully, if you know that or you have any thoughts on that, please comment in the comment section or email me, lowercase, the black sheep researcher at yahoo.com. See, I don't get too many mail. So lightning and neurons and synapses, find twinkle twinkle little star, concussion, as you concluded that clip, is a force, a blow to the head. So if you think about when you get blown to the head, is that what we're actually hearing? Thunder. The God we're in, God who created us, he's getting a blow to the head, because obviously we don't know what's going on up there. And it just sounded like thunder. I'm just using, an expression. I'm not saying yes, it's definite. And then I did the sperm and I look like semen, didn't I? Yeah. So I've just really covered what I covered in there, and I'm just blown away, and I'm glad, and I feel a weight's lifted off my chest, because every one of us will have a topic that we always wanted to make into something, but you're scared in a way what people will say, or you just don't have the tools at the time to get your ideas out or link it where people can understand, because obviously it's in your head. So this could lead to many things, and this is not my personal thoughts now, but you have stuff like the Mandela effect, of what is affecting, what is happening. Could that be the case of God's got Alzheimer's in a sense? And I've mentioned that before on shows. How, do you remember in the pre-flood times we had giant trees and they reached up into the heavens? What happens if they were neuron and synapses? And I've showed you pictures of that, and we chopped them down. And what happens if we're killing the ecosystem, which we know we are, by weather manipulation, weather, geoengineering? And Mother Earth is alive. She's breathing. Water is alive. Water can contain memories. It can contain to any shape. You've seen me including at the beginning in a few video clips and voice clips, and Bruce Lee saying, "Be the water, my friend." Water is more than what we're being told. We've seen videos on it, on how it can do miraculous things. We can go without food, but we can't go without water. What I was getting to was, could the water be brain fluid, or some type of fluid, which we know it is, because we don't know what it is. We're born into fluid, and then the air we breathe is a gas, it's a liquid, and it, so you can see where I'm like, oh, what can I do with this now? And it's just brilliant. And like I said, I needed to get it out, and then obviously I can work on it better as I go. But if you're open-minded, you can see why. You don't have to agree, but hopefully you guys can understand and watch this and think, yeah, I can see why he's thinking that. I don't believe in it, Paul, necessarily, but I can see why. And this is the type of thing I appreciate and I love. Why be negative? If you don't believe in it, say, Paul, I don't believe in it, and give me your reasons why. Sorry, pardon me. Because like I said, we create what we speak. The power of the mind is just such powerful. So if we're in God's mind, and then you have stuff like the Astrology and all their pictures of the so-called dark matter and different things. You've seen it, I've included it, and how it just looks like the brain. And you've seen all the memes and different things on how brains look like universe and it was in the mouse and different things. And that's what I've had on my head for a very long time, and I could never get it out. I didn't feel confident enough to get it out. And as I'm slowly gaining confidence, slowly getting better communicating with you guys, I'm feeling I can get different things out of my head and share it with you. And like I said, I've gone from strength to strength. I've been up 6 or 7 months, and I'm growing and I'm growing, and it's only because of you great people. Well, it is. Do you know what I mean? It won't be the same me just making videos to myself and like 1 or 2 subscribers, friends that don't really look. Do you know what I mean? and we are using a negative, which is indoctrination, the internet, how they indoctrinate people, how they're controlling us and controlling our lives, and we're using it for a positive. We're getting our messages out, our feelings, and these feelings resonate with people, and they get solace in it. I'm not mentioning names, I'll mention the comment, and I've mentioned it before in the video. I was blown away by it, and the person, I set my hat off, just brilliant. They said they was a grammar Nazi, and me doing my video on indoctrination as it being a spell has changed them. You tell me if that's not a great feeling that you've done that to someone to think different. Because a lot of us, and we all have our flaws, we don't realise the power we have on people. So you being more positive or negative to a person can affect their day. What harm is it? You don't have to go around like Mary Poppins or something like that with a big smile on your face singing, and you know what I mean? You just have to be good to yourself and just pay someone a compliment, pass it forward. You can change lives. I've talked about many times, I'll try not to because I always get a tear in my eye, how I saved the person's life just by saying hello to him. That changed me at that point in that time forever. And then when more and more videos I make and I connect with more people who think similar to me, we are creating a more positive energy, and we're sharing it, and we're even using their tools, the World Wide Web, against them. And that is why they're coming down on YouTube, coming down on social media, because they can't control us. But when one drops down, another system comes up, and like nature always finds a way. And that's even when I was talking about a bit I forgot about to do with this, with the Indian Hopi prophecies, and I talk about the spider's web in the sky and how that's linked to the skeleton. And then you have the tree, the Dendrites or whatever it's called, pronunciation. But all these things just wowed me. Do you know what I mean? And just blown away. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, there's people who comment on my channel. Whoops. Nearly knocked everything flying then. Yep, see, look at that. Knocking everything flying. Getting so excited. It just like I said, I'm blown away on how we're using a negative for a positive. Because, well, like I said, it's the power of our mind. So this is why I wanted to get this theory out, because I've always had it since I was young. Since watching that thing, are we inside someone in God's mind? And now, as more I'm learning, I find out abracadabra means I think, therefore I am. And there's other things that I've missed that I've not included in this. Only the fact is because how long do I spend on the video? Because I have a short attention span, like I've said many times, and I'm like thinking of other videos, I'll be thinking of something in this now, thinking, that's good, I'll have to make on that, you know what I mean? So I jumped around, to different things. And like I said, I'm up to 40 minutes now. I'm getting longer. And I just hopefully you guys can understand why I've made this and understand my thinking behind this. Obviously, we all believe different things. We all believe we live on different places. Why let that come between us? Don't you think that's a bit shallow? And it's the greatest tactic of evil all time: divide and conquer. We are letting them divide us over something. I mean, you don't have to ignore it, but just appreciate people's perspective is different. We are unique. So if you believe something different than me, I wouldn't come to your house, knock on your door and give you loads and saying, I don't believe in this. Why? So why do it on the internet and be the keyboard warrior? And we know there's people getting paid to do it. We're not on about them. We're on about the good, honest people like yourselves who sometimes feel rage on a specific topic and not realise that is, like abracadabra, I create as I speak, you are speaking a spell. You have been cast a spell on you to feel indoctrinated, and it triggers your normally mild-tempered or whatever your emotions are, and a specific topic. Why do you feel so aggressive? So like that person who I can't get over how brilliant that was. To come out and say, I was like that. That took some balls. And touche, sir. Or madam. I know it's a sir, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Touche. So let's just not divide ourselves. Just, you know, enjoy life. Ride it like you've stole it. Obviously, don't watch this video and then use it. Oh, well, yay, I'll just blame Paul. A lot of people blame me for everything. But, you know what I mean? It's all in good fun. So hopefully, guys, like I said, be good. Have a great weekend. Take care. I love you all. And hopefully, I'll make this into a premiere soon. Maybe soon. So take care. Have a good weekend. And pay it forward. Just do one good deed a day. Help create what you speak. Right, thanks, bye. Thanks, bye. Thanks, bye. Oh my God. I'll have to say now, I cannot finish on a thanks, bye. Oh my God. I've gone... I've had a Homer Simpson moment. Yep. Oh, like we're saying, I'm not here for the numbers. The only thing time the numbers and subs go up, it does make you feel better in the sense that you are getting your message across to more, but it's not vital. It's like quality over, you know, quantity. I have some really good people. Well, you all are, to be honest, who watch my videos. We have brilliant comments. And please like it. Please subscribe if you're new and this is the first one you're listening to. I really do appreciate people, and I always listen and I'll reply. Sometimes I can't reply because for some reason when you see the reply, when you click on it, you can't find it. So that is the only time I won't reply to someone. But as you can see, I always try and reply to every message that's humanly possible. And like I said, thanks guys, and hopefully I can finish by saying goodbye. Here's Black Sheep. Don't forget, if you like, thumbs up, please.